Yeah, buddy. You know, so, I'll get right to it, damn it. Hey man, say man, it's your boy DAA, man. Daylight TV. Back at y'all with another live show. Episode number 35. It's Friday. Box. That audio probably sound crazy. Money Jane in here. If the YouTube world is tuned in, hit that like, subscribe button, smash that notification bell. Really mobbing with the content, help brother grow in the algorithm. Some of y'all don't pay attention, but whatever. We're gonna get into it real quick today. First up, rapper Mel Matrix, released from federal prison, greeted by Jim Jones down by Penn Station. Welcome home, Mel. Understand? So Mel Matrix Jones, also known as Mel Murder. That's who I knew. You understand? Like, we're not new, but when I was on the streets and you would hear about him, I heard of Mel Murder. Mel Matrix is a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Was released from federal prison on August 27, 2025. He served over 5 years of a 135-month sentence. That's 11 and a quarter, about. For racketeering and narcotic distribution charges related to his involvement in the 9 trade gangster blood. So Melly was sentenced in October of 2019, I believe. And I was off paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had damn near finished. I was damn near about to wrap up my first year being off of paper. The sentence was tied to the federal case involving Tekashi 6ix9ine, y'all already know, you know what I'm saying, and the other 9 trade members, Treyway, the whole thing, right? A list of co-defendants from the 9 trade I don't know, because I mean, a lot of them or whatever got around. Some of them got around the same amount of time, so it should be a gang of them about to, come home. If they ain't already been, coming home, and I ain't been paying attention. So Jones, Melly, he pleaded guilty to the racketeering offense or whatever in April of 2019. You know what I mean? The narcotic charge stemmed from selling heroin to an undercover police officer in 2018. Oh, I know all about fucking around and serving undercover. Mel Matrix has 5 years of supervised release, whatever, following the sentence or whatever, I gather. Because if you get 11 and a quarter time served, I'm pretty sure it's more than the 5. that because he was remanded. I don't think he was out on bond while he was fighting that shit. I'm not sure. So you know, he got post-release, similar to probation, parole. He's subject to conditions and oversight by the relevant authority. But that shit be being in the cage, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So welcome home, Mel Matrix and shit. I actually have video here of him being greeted by Jim Jones. That's his thing right there. That's Penn Station. That's like right when you come out. That's on the one train side. That's 7th Avenue side or whatever. Shit. It used to be a Foot Locker that was right over there. About to sell watches. Maybe Jimmy took him in there and buy one of them expensive ass watches. All right. Anyway, get into the video. It's short. I wonder what federal spot he got released from. Yeah, man. So, like I said, bro, welcome home to Melly and shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect nothing different than Jim to be there to, welcome him home. Keeping that boy's name alive just as much as he been keeping the Dipset shit alive. But yeah, man. Welcome home, Mel Matrix. Hopefully, Bo ain't got no, Bo don't gotta get into no more shit. I'm pretty sure, hoping, Jim would do right by the homie and, to where he ain't gotta be in the streets and, doing God knows what. So, yeah, shout out, Mel. While we on the subject of blood members from New York in court, we got CARDI B. Well, I hadn't even realized or whatever and shit that is a trial, but week 1 of the CARDI B civil assault trial, right? But not criminal. She got a little civil action. Somebody trying to get some money out of it. $24 million to be exact. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I said, I didn't know all of this is like, really going down or whatever and shit. But so, cause I would have covered it from day one the same way I did the Hernandez Govan and the Diddy trial and all of that shit. But yeah, it was relatively short, and so we're gonna get into it now. So this is like pretty much a day-to-day chronological breakdown of the civil trial involving CARDI B, former security guard named Imani Ellis, which began in Los Angeles, well, this week, really. The opening statement started on Monday, I believe. So Ellis is suing Cardi B, whose real name is Belcalis Almaz Alman Almanzar. I don't know why the fuck I kept thinking of whatever and shit. I think her sister was named after the liquor. I thought they were both named after liquor. But okay. Belcalis. For an alleged assault in 2018 at a Beverly Hills medical office, right? So on Monday, August 25th, the trial commenced with opening statements from attorneys representing both sides. Ellis's lawyer, Elin Rosen, Elin Rosen Jambazi, god damn it, argued that Ellis suffered physical and emotional harm and was traumatized by the rapper's actions, which included spitting, hitting, and verbal abuse. Ellis was also allegedly fired from her job due to the incident and is seeking compensation for medical expenses and other damages. Cardi B's attorney, Peter J. Anderson, nigga had the easiest name yet. Well, Amani Ellis too. Yeah, I give him credit. Claimed that Ellis had changed her story and that she claimed her claims of emotional distress were not credible. He characterized Cardi B as a private person who is unjustly accused. Hard being a private person when you're a celebrity, but I mean, I get it. What your point is. Ellis took the stand, claiming that when she saw Cardi B get off the elevator in the medical office, she excitedly said, "Wow, it's Cardi B." She alleged that Cardi B responded by verbally and physically assaulting her using racial slurs and causing scratches with her long nails. And I know Cardi keep them claws. You know what I'm saying? But she stated now Cardi, I'm guessing, like, stated that side of it was that Ellis began filming her, which she found threatening while pregnant, and trying to keep her pregnancy private. She recalled getting into chest to chest and having a shouting match with Ellis, but insisted that no physical contact, occurred. The defense argued that Ellis was the instigator and that Cardi B was basically, disabled or disabled pregnant person, who felt she was being attacked. Whatever. During the cross-examination about her physical capabilities at the time of the 2018 incident where Cardi was about 4 months pregnant, she stated that she was very disabled, and her exploration continued in the court to the courtroom's amusement. I actually got a clip of that. Like, I went to the time mark in
think the volume is fine. The tone is a little bit argumentative.
Thank you very much. I apologize. And I will try to do my best to tone it down. So again, I will ask you to tell us and admit to this fact that you are not disabled, correct?
I'm not what?
Are you disabled?
At that moment, no.
No. Are you disabled? Are you disabled? Yes or no?
At that moment, when you're pregnant, I'm very disabled. You want me to tell you things I can't do?
Fine. What was your disability on February 24th of 2018? What was your disability?
I was pregnant. I couldn't protect myself, even if I wanted to. She's like twice my size.
No problem, no problem. Let me ask you this. How many months pregnant were you?
Wait for the answer.
Okay.
You done, man?
How many months pregnant were you?
I was around 13 to 12 weeks.
Months? 4 months? 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
3 to 4 months. Fair enough? Did you have a bulging belly?
No, I didn't.
Did Miss Imani Ellis know that you were pregnant? Do you know if Imani Ellis knew that you were pregnant when you walked out of that elevator?
No, I didn't know. But she knows that I'm a patient. When you're a patient to go see a medical anything, you shouldn't even try to fight nobody. You don't know what disability they have.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question. When you say you were disabled, were you disabled in your upper extremity, your arms? Were your arms disabled?
So, you know, she's like, the facial expressions, all this shit or whatever, is like had a, nah, I'm going crazy. Now, she said how she couldn't protect herself or whatever. And some of like that, some of her other testimony, including her blunt responses and facial expressions, kind of been going viral, you know what I'm saying, for lack of a better word. The plaintiff lawyer asked her about whether or not she had body shamed the security guard, Imani Ellis, during the confrontation. The lawyer says, "Did you call her fat?" Cardi B: "No, I just called her a bitch." A response that drew laughter from the courtroom. I didn't actually find that clip, but I'll probably edit it when I post this segment later. During another point in testimony, when pressed on whether Ellis was overweight, Cardi B coined a viral term to describe her size. The lawyer said after Cardi B made a face, "Do you think she was overweight?" Following an objection from the lawyer, Cardi B responded, "She is like security heavy. She just looks like she could protect the building." So basically, like, you's a big bitch. In an unusual exchange, the opposing lawyer questioned Cardi B about her hair, apparently taken aback by the frequent change of wigs. The conversation was as follows. I think I actually have a clip of this. Hold on a second. This could look like that. Yeah. All right, we're gonna get into this clip.
Yesterday you had black hair, short hair. Today it's blonde and long. Which one is your real hair? Or are they both real?
They're wigs. I didn't want him to know that I was going to.
All right. Let's see what else. I'll come back to whatever. We'll play some more of the funny clips and everything. So in court, well, the court or whatever. So it was only 3 days of 3 or 4 days. Or I think it's just 3 days of trial from what I saw. Right. The trial is, well, the court is in recess until Tuesday, September 2nd for the long Labor Day weekend. You know, when the trial resumes on Tuesday, the jury is scheduled to hear closing arguments from both sides. So, like, the prosecution and the defense have rested at this point. Taking the extended holiday is, you know, pretty standard recess or whatever for court, because it kind of allowed the involved parties, the judges, jury, legal teams, you know, to rest, prepare for, you know, the final stage of the trial. We kind of started happening during the Memorial Day holiday weekend with the Diddy trial. And well, the jury decided or whatever. I guess they didn't want to come back to this shit after the 4th of July weekend, so they got that shit out the way real quick. But we got some more. There's a couple of more clips or whatever here of CARDI or whatever we're gonna let play.
OBGYN.
You didn't want your security guard to know that?
No.
Why?
I didn't want him to know that I was going to an OBGYN. So,
You didn't want your security guard to know that?
no.
Why?
First, I didn't want people to know that I was pregnant. Second, I was a little like, I don't want a guy that I work with to know I'm going to a vagina doctor.
Now, as a celebrity wanting to, you know, keep the pregnancy private and all of that or whatever, like, that's not too hard to, like, wrap your head around. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I mean, especially a celebrity of that magnitude. And then you're pregnant by another major celebrity, so, you know, yeah, I mean, you gotta have some type of privacy.
A verbal fight, but it didn't get physical at all.
When I'm talking to you now, are we having a verbal altercation?
We haven't, say, a debate. I need to leave. I came to see a doctor.
You're not that far off or whatever and shit. Fernandez Goldman's lawyer said that he was on the debate team and he was pretty good at it, and that's what made him go into law. So, having a debate.
You following me? You're recording me. I'm just trying to check my cat. To go see a medical anything, you shouldn't even try to fight nobody. You don't know what.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on with CARDI. My take, honestly, cash grab. I don't know if I don't know. It just seemed kind of weak. She got fired from the position or whatever. Probably because this is a high-paying patient. You know, she ain't paying with Medicaid. She got that good. You know, she got that good payment. So, ain't nobody gonna risk their celebrity client or whatever and shit like that because your ass can't control yourself with your phone. You could have recorded that shit on the low. Said, look who came to my job, y'all. There's a lot of people or whatever who have seen people come into their job and they be on a whisper recording it. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Like, now if the person gets offended and shit, it's like, yo, you already gone, probably in another state doing another show. So she, played that long. She ain't getting no 24 million though. That's a dub. Ain't nobody getting that. Seems like the court is abused. The jury probably abused too. I might actually go through it and do a breakdown, even though it's almost over. I might do a full breakdown of the testimony and all of that. We'll see. Share, man. We're gonna stay in the courthouse with it. Next up, we got Boosie Badass. Pled to one count of possession of firearm by a felon. So, if y'all remember, I covered, this before when he announced that he was going to take the plea. Feel me? Now he had his court date, went in there, entered the guilty plea, the gun charge, and the prosecution recommended a sentence of 2 years in federal prison, significantly less than the 15 years that I told y'all he was potentially facing under the Armed Career Criminal Act. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have definitely tried to go that route with him. After completing his prison sentence, he'll serve 3 years of supervised release. So I guess that's how they chopped up the 5 that he was looking at overall, right? So we're gonna do 2 in and 3 on the outside. You know what I mean? A second gun-related charge, which was the possession of a firearm while knowingly handling or using or under the influence of a controlled substance, preferably, I'm guessing, marijuana. The prosecution confirmed that they would not seek monetary judgment, he wouldn't have to pay any fines or anything like that, as he has limited financial prospects, whatever that means. But that is completely fucked. While prosecutors recommended a 2-year sentence, though, the judge is not necessarily required to follow, that. Judge will ultimately determine the length of prison term when Boosie goes to court in November of 2025. So I believe there's a clip I had of Boosie clip.
That's right. And his legal name is Torrance Hatch. Now, a lot of times defendants don't really want to talk to us if they're still going through court proceedings, but he was fine with it. He says he accepts responsibility for what happened and he's ready to move forward.
I want to put it behind me. I want to get it behind me and get on with my life. You know, it's a lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across. So I just want to get it over with, you know, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over it.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for me. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else. Yeah.
And his attorney provided us this video of him performing on stage. Now, Hatch, known as Boosie to his fans, now awaits sentencing. He's a father of 9 kids. His fiance was with him in court today. So some background on this case. It stems from a traffic stop in San Diego in May 2023. Hatch was arrested in Choias View after police found 2 guns inside a vehicle he was riding in. Now, the state charges were eventually dropped, but the feds then pursued a case against him because he was a convicted felon in possession of a firearm, which violates federal law. Now, the 42-year-old rapper announced earlier this month on social media that he was going to take a plea deal. And so this morning he went before a judge and entered that guilty plea. So here's what his defense attorney told me outside court.
I am optimistic for Mr. Hatch. He, as he just explained, wanted nothing more than to accept responsibility and put this behind him. And now it's my job to make sure the court understands the scope of the case and what the case is really about. And more importantly, all of the amazing things that Mr. Hatch has done for the community, continues to do, and the amazing things that he will do going forward.
And Hatch currently lives in Atlanta. Now, he faces a maximum of 15 years behind bars. His defense attorney did not disclose any parts of the plea agreement or any details about it, but the judge made it very clear today, regardless of what's in that plea agreement, it is the sentencing judge who will have the final say. So the sentencing hearing is set for November 21st, which is just days after Hatch's birthday. Anna Carlo.
Kelly, one thing you mentioned is that state charges were dropped here and the feds picked up the case. What else can you tell us about how this case moved?
Yeah, well, we could stop it there. If y'all want to know how the case got moved from state to federal and all of that, y'all can check out the video I did when he first announced that he was actually to take the plea. So, next up, we've been covering a lot of cartel news. I got some more for y'all. All right. So, spoke about earlier this week, El Mayo pleading guilty, forfeiting $15 billion to the government, and how his lawyer explicitly detailed how there was no cooperation clause in his agreement, simply him taking responsibility or whatever for his role in flooding nations with drugs, right? So after that, you had a big ass seizure, 7,600 pounds, over 7,600 pounds of cocaine and marijuana. Then the Seattle bust, you know what I mean, happened, right after that. All of these allegedly tied to the Sinaloa cartel, right? Well, now we in New Hampshire with it. Drug bust in New Hampshire linked to Sinaloa cartel, and why Lawrence, Massachusetts is an important hub for Sinaloa, all right? So, recent Sinaloa cartel drug bust occurred in Franklin, New Hampshire, The bus targeted a street-level fentanyl and methamphetamine network linked directly to the Sinaloa cartel and its distribution hub in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Federal agents with the Drug Enforcement Administration and local detectives conducted a month-long investigation, plural, into the drug trafficking in Franklin, New Hampshire. The investigation connects the local distributors to a supply chain originating with the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. On August 26, 2025, initial enforcement action led to DEA agents and Franklin police to execute 3 search warrants in Franklin. Authorities arrested 17 people and seized approximately $100,000 in cash, a firearm, and various illegal narcotics. The DEA posts details of the operation on the New England X, formerly Twitter account. Damn, I didn't pull that picture. On August 27th, law enforcement continued this enforcement effort, charging 10 more individuals, bringing the total number of arrests to 27. Police cleared a homeless encampment in Franklin that was involved in ongoing drug sales. Participating agencies included the New Hampshire State Police, Merrimack County Sheriff's Office, and police departments from Alexandria, Andover, Northfield, Salem, and Bristol, Connecticut. They were. On August 28th, federal authorities publicly announced the arrest and link to the Sinaloa cartel. The DEA declared that the investigation is ongoing and that more arrests are possible. Right now, all of this or whatever comes after law enforcement made arrest of a Dominican national back in March of 2025. Which I saw as a related article in the area. The DEA pretty much, he was a Lawrence-based trafficker who was supplied with fentanyl and methamphetamine directly by the Sinaloa cartel. The authorities found drugs, weapons, and manufacturing equipment hidden behind the remote-controlled trap wall. So they knew from then or whatever that they were dealing with something that was a little more sophisticated than your, fly-by-night, organization. Even going a year back before that happened, in August of 2024, a man from Lawrence pleaded guilty to conspiring to traffic 50 pounds of methamphetamine from Massachusetts to New Hampshire. You know what I'm saying? So, all of that or whatever, and shit again, bringing Lawrence up, major hub. Now, I guess that's like Chicago for New England. You know what I mean? A leader of a Lawrence-based drug trafficking and money laundering organization was tied to the Sinaloa cartel was sentenced to 25 years. The organization distributed fentanyl and methamphetamine throughout Massachusetts. That's what the article said. But going back even further than that, just to kind of give some real context or whatever here, right? So in 2012, there was a cocaine conspiracy or whatever, and the investigation exposed the cartel's effort to pretty much establish a new cocaine distribution route through New England, with cartel representatives meeting with conspirators in New Hampshire, and shit, other places too. Because in March of 2011, co-conspirators and cartel representatives met in Madrid, Spain, to finalize the terms of the first cocaine delivery. In April of that same year, the cartel members, met with the co-conspirators in Newcastle, New Hampshire, as part of negotiations. And during this period, 3 test shipments of fruit are made to confirm the route was clear of law enforcement. So I guess they did like a clean run to see how, police will react. And that's really how you're supposed to do it anytime you go into someplace new, even if you're not cartel level. But like, let's say you hustling out of town, you don't just want to go out there, whatever, with the other load and just start hitting everybody. You want to run through that bit clean, see if you get stopped, how the police or whatever react to new faces and all that shit. You know what I mean? July 27th of 2012, the FBI intercepted a shipment of like 348 kilos of cocaine at the port of Algeria, Spain and shit. One of the Spanish ports. Yeah, I'll be fucking up with these names. Pardon me. In September, the Department of Justice announced indictments for 4 suspected SINALOA cartel members who were prosecuted in New Hampshire. And in December of 2015, one of those members, I believe, was sentenced to 17 years in federal prison in connection with the drug conspiracy. Lawrence, Massachusetts, through my research, I found out served as a significant hub for the SINALOA cartel and its distribution network for several reasons. So Lawrence is actually located on a major, interstate highway, much like Chicago, Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why you see these groups of cartel operatives like moving around in those areas, right? So, like, they can hit Boston, New Hampshire, Maine. I mean, shit, you start getting into that trickle down into Connecticut and Rhode Island and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big market out there. And it's a lot of colleges. And we all know college kids like they drugs. You know what I'm saying? The SINALOA cartel also utilizes the fact that there are drug trafficking organizations, otherwise known as DTOs, in Lawrence or whatever, and throughout the New England area. You know what I'm saying? Which are mostly run by like Dominicans and shit. You even have like Latin Kings or whatever and shit in Mass. What's that shit? Lynn, Massachusetts or whatever, got a lot of gangs, a lot of drugs, you know what I'm saying? All that shit. Also, and like I said, the Ivy League colleges and shit like that. So not only do you have college, it's a college town, but it's a rich ass college town. You know what I mean? Around there. And basically, these local like gangs or whatever handle the street level distribution and shit like that. So it's almost like how Amazon, like why start a payment processing company when I can buy one with the infrastructure already set up? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, this just goes to show what a joke the war on drugs is. Because at some point, you know, wars actually end. This drug and crime shit is just a human condition at this point. It always has been. But all I know is it's mighty funny how all of these busts occur after the cartel leaders, like at the very top, start working out plea deals and surrendering and all of this other shit. Because, and I'm not saying that now they're like telling on all of this shit that's happening, but it's a trickle down effect. It's like once you get bagged and you realize that the person at the very top is not staying solid, what the hell are you doing? Well, let me know what y'all think about all of this. Who y'all think is telling or whatever? And if they're all telling, who you think is telling the most? El Mayo or Chapo's sons? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, man. So next up, we're gonna get into some sports news. You know, New York time with it. Mike Tannenbaum said Jackson Dart is a better player and athlete than Russell Wilson. Now, for those of y'all that don't know, I did some coverage or whatever on Russell Wilson getting picked up by the Giants, and I gave my thoughts and concerns and my hopes, you know what I mean, that this works out well. So the former general manager Mike Tannenbaum had criticized the New York Giants' decision to start Russell Wilson over rookie quarterback Jackson Dart in the 2025 season. Tannenbaum, who previously served as general manager for the New York Jets and currently works as an ESPN analyst, believed that starting Wilson does not give the Giants the best chance at winning. Tannenbaum said on SportsCenter on August 26, 2025, that according to NewYorkJets.com, Jackson Dart, how soon does he start? If it were up to me, it would have been 3 months ago. He added that Dart outplayed Russell Wilson during the preseason and is the best quarterback on the New York Giants roster right now. The justification for that is kind of relevant or whatever if you want to just count the preseason. So in completion, Jackson Dart has 32 completions to Russell Wilson 10. Made 47 attempts to Russell Wilson 14. And so that puts his percentage at about 68%. And Russell Wilson at 71. Now, the whole thing about it is people have tried to argue the completion percentage or whatever and shit, but you're also trying less, right? Dart did have, during the preseason, he did have about 200 more passing yards than Russell Wilson. Passing touchdowns, he had 3. Russell Wilson had none. Interceptions thrown, he threw none. Russell Wilson threw 1. Rushing yards, he had 52. Russell Wilson, none available. Rushing touchdowns, he had 1. Russell Wilson, none available. So in the preseason, he damn sure, outperformed. You can argue the completion percentage, but you gonna give a nigga credit for not trying? Oh yeah, that Tannenbaum argument is Dart preseason performance showed that he's more prepared to lead the Giants offense to victory. It could be true. Jackson Dart, he get busy. I've seen a couple of I wasn't watching them in college, but I seen the college reels. When they were talking about he was, up for the draft. Chase Daniels, a former NFL quarterback, agreed with Tannenbaum, and Daniels said that Dart clearly is very comfortable with the Giants head coach up-tempo offense, and should start despite these despite Russell Wilson's experience, because that's why the Giants are saying that they want him to they feel like Russell Wilson is a good starter and captain for the team. He's been to the Super Bowl, he had playoff experience, but that Super Bowl shit was a long time ago, Playboy. Despite these criticisms, the Giants head coach Brian DeBall said that Wilson will be the Week 1 starter, and this decision probably is part of a plan, I feel like, to develop Dart, because they got a lot of young players, and it seems like they're trying to usher in a new wave, but then still let them come up under more experienced people who have played their position, in the organization before. NFL offenses are real complex. You know what I'm saying? And it takes time for some rookie quarterback to really grasp and execute that shit at a high level. Not that they can't execute it at all, but just at a point where it seems so seamless, right? So, allowing Dart to kind of sit around and learn, behind experienced veterans and everything like that, like Wilson and James Winston. But Che, behind the 2 W's, Wilson and Winston, it could provide some valuable time for him to develop and, adjust to the program. But from the preseason performance, it seems like he's adjusting very well. The transition from college to NFL, true, it's a significant jump. And the speed of the game can be overwhelming, but he don't seem like he's overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Now, the fact that he doesn't seem like he's overwhelmed now means that giving him time to observe and learn from the sidelines or whatever could help him adapt even more, lead to the mental demands or whatever of the position, and, mentally build the confidence. But then at the same time, nothing builds confidence like on-the-job training. You know what I mean? One thing I saw, in one of the preseason games, I was just kind of thinking, could learn, like, you know, something about throwing. Like, I don't know if bro is comfortable throwing in tight windows, because I've seen a couple of plays where it seemed like he was avoiding it. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't want the interception, so he just didn't go that route. You know what I'm saying? You know, deep ball accuracy, like, you know, areas for development too and shit, like all that. So yeah, throwing long and you know, throwing in tight situations or whatever, and really trusting your receivers. You know, that's thing, especially when you got playmakers like neighbors, you know, shit on. It also allows for focus, like practice and coaching, to, you know, refine all of them skills and everything that we just talked about. You know, because starting a rookie immediately could be, like, you know, a risky proposition, especially, like, but to be fair, the Giants have a challenging schedule. You get what I'm saying? And an inexperienced offensive line on top of, like, a line, an offensive line that already needs, you know, improvement, could be the reason to kind of shield him from that kind of pressure. You know what I mean? And, you know, creating, like, a real difficult start to his career. Because they kind of like what happened to Wilson, you could say. I don't know how I feel about this. Like I said, Wilson, you know, he got Super Bowl appearances and all that shit and thing, but I mean, where I'm mixed up with Russell Wilson at is the inconsistency, right? Because it's not like he's a bum of a quarterback, just inconsistent. So when he shows up, he shows up. You know, in 2023, Russell Wilson he achieved a 98.0 passer rating. Yeah. Which ranked 6th amongst full-time starters, and was an improvement over his 2022 performance. He also ranked, like, 9th in touchdown passes that season too. And, you know, the Giants might believe that he can still provide, you know, solid play stability. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know, like, I mean, it ain't over for Dart. It ain't like, you know, he's not gonna get no time at all or whatever and shit. Because, I mean, it should, being that Wilson is known to be inconsistent, especially the latter half of his career. Should he, like, struggle, or, you know, the Giants get off to a poor start, the team could bench him and insert Dart into the game or whatever, you know, to gain experience and potentially, you know, spark the offense and all that, right? Now, some speculation suggests that a poor start, like, if they do their first 4 games and they come out 0-4, God forbid, it's not going to work. That could lead to an early quarterback change. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the nigga has shown inconsistencies in recent seasons, including a dip in passer ratings or whatever. Yeah, like, you know, he saw a dip or whatever in passer ratings and overall stats or whatever when he was with the Steelers. So also whatever, if the Giants end up out of playoff contention later in the season, then yeah, they might put Dart in for that too. You know, and then like that'll gain them some valuable game experience without a lot of pressure of maintaining the record to stay in the playoff. You know what I mean? But you know, you get that field work. And you know, it basically will allow them to evaluate his performance against NFL competition. You know, preparing him for future as a starter. Like, I think they intend to start him at some point. Maybe he'll pop up as a starter or whatever in like next season. Ultimately, you know, the Giants' decision to start Russell Wilson over Dart, you know, reflects, in my opinion, it could be a calculated approach to quarterback development. They're gonna leverage, I guess, Wilson's experience while allowing Dart time to, you know, and like mentorship, I guess, needed to develop into a strong NFL starter, you know, for the future of the organization. However, as former Mike Tannenbaum points out, there's always a risk that delaying the talented rookie start could hinder, you know what I mean, the team's immediate success. Because while you're starting them out in week 1 or whatever, or if you get 4 games in, like a 16 week, bro, so you're gonna go 4 of the 16 weeks, so you're gonna sacrifice a quarter of the season, or for somebody who not only passed their prime but has been inconsistent. Shall see. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Russell Wilson, you know, he shows up. But when he shows up, that nigga show up. But let me let y'all know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments or whatever. Who should start? Wilson or Dart? While we're on the subject of football, so we got, get this first. So yeah, all right. Got a little sports update, you know what I mean, real quick. Still on the subject of football. Shiloh Sanders gets passed over by Bucks for practice squad. Now y'all know I covered yesterday, sometime earlier in the week, Shiloh Sanders and Zach Davison's little exchange or whatever on the football during the preseason game. A lot going on in the preseason. Emotion stirred up. So, following being waived by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Shiloh Sanders, a safety, was not signed to the team practice squad. The Buccaneers announced their initial 17-player practice squad on August 28th, yesterday, which included a number of players who had spent time with the team during the summer, but not Sanders. He was not claimed by any of the other teams off waivers after being, after that whole incident happened with him and Davis. So kind of leaving his professional football career uncertain. Right? Now Sanders, you know who his daddy is. Like his brother Shador, the quarterback, rookie quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. So he went, but Shiloh, that same, in that draft, because he just got drafted, this his rookie year. Shiloh went undrafted in the 2025 draft, and signed with the Buccaneers as an undrafted free agent, like I discussed before. And he participated in their off-season and preseason activity. He recorded 4 tackles in the preseason before being ejected from the final preseason game for throwing the punch at Davis. Really, it was a smack on the helmet, but they're calling it a punch. Emotional. The incident likely impacted his chances of making the 50-man roster and being signed to the practice squad. While some analysts had projected that, Sanders would be like a high 5th round pick for the draft, his slide and the failure to make the Buccaneers roster or whatever in the practice squad suggest challenges, in his transition to the NFL from college, which we were just kind of speaking on where, why the Giants might be dragging their feet on letting Dart start. You know what I'm saying? But Dart is not Shiloh Sanders. I've seen him. Though the Buccaneers did not rush to put him on the practice squad, it is possible that changes to the practice squad could happen, or another team may show interest, like we discussed the other day. Deion Sanders expressed his confidence in Shiloh, highlighting that he had many talents. We spoke about the music, the social media. So there's a lot of ways to whatever for to get the bag. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, those are our stories for today. Yeah, man. Shout out to Shiloh Sanders or whatever. You'll be alright, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, yesterday, I told y'all the story about how I found out that some of the work that you get actually coming from BMF and shit, right? Because I was mentioning my man, that took me down to Atlanta with him. He was fucking with whoever he was fucking. You know what I mean? And he just took me down there because the price was right. Before I get into this. Now watching the Rise and Grind live show. Okay. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. Shout out Fina, UNG radio station. Yeah, my people. Shout out to Cuts. Shout out to Renee. Yeah. Sometimes I be slacking on the comments, I ain't gonna lie. But yes, I told y'all a Jen story, I told y'all a Bean story, I told y'all hustle shit. What story says that? I usually try to follow and see like how see the way things segue. Segue into that. I told y'all my Jimi Hendrix story. Now, we trying to be careful with the story because some of this shit, man, got crazy. I did think. Shit. I'll tell y'all this. It's kind of wild. But, you know what, man? I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna think of something because I gotta be very. Some of this shit I gotta be careful of, like telling. Like, I ain't really tripping on nobody having no issue, but at the same time, yeah. That's gonna be our show for today because I actually got like a lot of shit I gotta do. And it's a long ass weekend, so I'm not gonna be able to like bust my little moves and shit come Monday, you know, because everything gonna be closed. So I gotta get out and handle all the official business and shit. I'll tell y'all one. I got one. So, back in, I want to say 2012, December of 2012, me, my nigga PAT and Lowe's Music, we're down in Miami to do a show with a dude who was associated with Po Boy. And I say associated because he said like what his capacity was. I'm just not sure if homie was really all he said by the way things played out. I'm gonna put that on hold. But here's the thing, all right? So had you know, we was rocking with my nigga Gator, shout out Hunter, you know what I'm saying? He hook up or whatever with the dude or whatever and shit. We'll call him JR. So JR is promoting the event and we get down there. The event is to take place in Hialeah at the Howard Johnson. Well, it's a restaurant. It's a restaurant at the bottom of the Howard Johnson Hotel. I forget what the name is. But it's a nice little spot. You know what I'm saying? It would have been live if the shit would have actually went down. Just the way it was set up. So, we get down there. And you know, I'm working on everything under the sun. You understand me at the time, right? So, and also at the time of going down there, I'm already scheduled to do the Rush Week tour with Phoenix. To promote to keep promoting my Narco Corridos record and another record I had called Ego Tripping at the time. And I was already in conversation with DJ Castro, who was down with another Miami label, Slip and Slide. And so you know, we're gonna do this tape together. right? Like he was gonna hold the paper and everything. So I'm just out here promoting the single, touring, whatever and shit, building my butt. I'm fucking with my nigga Phoenix. He was starting the magazine thing. You know, my dog Plus, DOTC, Voice of the City. Shout out to him. So anyway, I'm out there. I'm doing the shows. Oh, this is crazy because this kind of ties into the Charles Cosby shit. Damn. Yeah, so we'll start that name. Yeah, damn. I should probably. Nah. I'll tell you how. So anyway, I'm out there. I'm doing the shows or whatever. At first, I'm staying in South Beach. Yeah, I'm having distracted. I gotta get my day started or whatever. Shit. My bad, y'all. Monday, we'll start the story or whatever and shit, and I'll actually have it like set up or whatever because I kind of gave y'all Jimmy Henchman's story, going to Atlanta, and what else? Going to Atlanta. Gave y'all a jail story. That was kind of fast forwarding or whatever and shit, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it or whatever. I'm gonna keep rolling it out or whatever and shit like that. So Monday, tune in. I'm gonna tell y'all how after Atlanta, like when I came back to New York. Oh yeah, bro, I'm skipping a whole fucking like. Yeah, we're gonna start this shit, bro. Next week or whatever, like, cause I just started playing around with it this week. You know, the story time joint at the end of the show. But next week we're gonna start it off officially, you know, and yeah, this is where it gets real interesting or whatever. Like we've already had some legendary name, now we're gonna get some even more legendary names. Man, the life of life, memoirs of the son, stand up nigga. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody who pulled up today, tuned in. Whether you were here for a short time or a long time, I hope you had a good time. You understand what I'm saying? Hit that like and subscribe button, smash that notification bell if you really mind with the content. And as always, stay dangerous so you can be safe. It's your boy Daylight TV. I'm out.